They weren't puppies. That much was certain the moment the vet stepped back, his face pale, his hands trembling as he whispered words that froze the air in the room. The Martinez family had celebrated a miracle, 15 newborns born to their golden retriever Luna in a single, breathless night. Neighbors called it divine. Children wept with joy. But now, silence swallowed the house like a storm cloud. Because what lay curled beneath Luna's weary body wasn't a litter of dogs at all. And what they truly were left the whole town trembling. Luna knew, from the very first breath. She knew that if you love stories that grip your heart and haunt your thoughts, smash that like button and subscribe for more real-life mysteries. And tell us in the comments, what country are you watching from tonight? The night had begun in quiet anticipation. Rain tapped softly against the windows as Luna paced the living room, her golden fur glistening under the lamplight. The Martinez children, Mateo and Sofia, sat cross-legged on the rug, eyes wide with wonder. Their parents, Elena and Carlos, hovered nearby, hearts pounding with excitement. When the first whimper pierced the air, tears welled in Elena's eyes. One by one, tiny lives arrived. 3, 5, 7. Luna licked each gently, pulling them close with maternal instinct that seemed almost supernatural. By midnight, the count reached 11. By dawn, 15. The blanket overflowed with squirming warmth, soft cries echoing like a symphony of new beginnings. Neighbors gathered at the door, gasping in awe. 15? Impossible, someone cried. The family beamed, unaware that their joy was built on a secret even Luna couldn't explain. But within days, the miracle began to unravel. A few of the newborns didn't cry like puppies. Their voices were sharp, almost metallic, slicing through the night like glass. Their movements were stiff, unnatural, lacking the clumsy wobble of newborn dogs. While most pups nestled into Luna's belly, these few twitched and jerked as if fighting invisible strings. Sophia once reached out to touch one and recoiled. Their fur felt coarse, almost wiry, unlike the downy softness of the others. They're just different, Carlos insisted, though his voice wavered. Elena forced a smile, but her hands trembled as she tucked the blanket tighter. Luna, however, watched them with eyes that held something deeper than protectiveness, something like dread. She'd nudged them away from the others, her body tense, ears pinned back. As if shielding the family from a truth too terrible to speak, Luna's behavior grew stranger by the hour. At night, while the house slept, she'd carefully carry 3 or 4 of the odd ones to the far corner of the room, leaving the rest behind. In the morning, she'd be found curled tightly around them, eyes wide and unblinking, as if standing guard against an unseen threat. When Mateo tried to pick one up, Luna's entire frame stiffened, a low, warning rumble vibrating in her chest. Not a growl of anger, but of urgency. "Easy, girl," Carlos murmured, setting the pup down. Instantly, Luna snatched it back, cradling it against her like a secret too precious to share. The children whispered in hushed tones, "Why does she only do that with those ones?" Elena brushed it off. "She's overwhelmed," but deep down she knew. Luna wasn't just being cautious. She was trying to tell them something. And whatever it was, it terrified her. Soon, the neighbors noticed too. Mrs. Delgado from next door leaned in during a visit, her smile fading as she watched one of the strange pups dart across the floor with eerie precision. "That's not how puppies move," she murmured. Another visitor flinched when a sharp screech erupted from a tiny mouth. Nothing like a bark, more like a bird of prey. Children who once begged to hold the pups now hung back, eyes wide with unease. Even Uncle Raphael, who'd raised champion shepherds for 30 years, knelt quietly beside the blanket, studied the litter for a long moment, then shook his head. "I don't know what these are," he said softly, "but they're not dogs." His words hung in the air like smoke. The family laughed it off, but the laughter died fast. Visitors stopped coming. Curtains twitched as people passed the house. The miracle had become a rumor, and rumors, in a small town, turned to fear faster than fire. Desperate for answers, Elena called Dr. Bennett, the town's most trusted veterinarian. When he arrived, Luna barked once, polite, but firm, then settled, though her muscles remained coiled. At first, the vet smiled at the sight of 15 squirming bodies. But as he lifted one of the unusual pups, his expression shifted. He examined its paws, too narrow, too claw-like. He peered into its eyes, slitted like a cat's, gleaming with unnatural alertness. He listened to its cry, a high-pitched keening that made the hair on his arms rise. Strange, he muttered, frowning. Very strange. He questioned Elena. Had Luna been near the woods? Had she wandered off before giving birth? Each question tightened the knot in Carlos's stomach. Finally, Dr. Bennett removed his gloves slowly, his voice low. These aren't puppies, he said. Not entirely. Their teeth, their eyes, their growth rate, it's all wrong. I believe. They're hybrids, crossed with something wild. The room went cold. Sophia burst into tears. Carlos stared at the floor, numb. Luna pressed her body around her babies, her gaze locked on the vet, not with hostility, but with a sorrow so deep it looked human. The drive home was silent. Back in the living room, the family sat in stunned disbelief. Mateo clutched Sophia's hand. Does this mean we have to give them away? He whispered. Elena pulled them close, her voice breaking. I don't know, Mijo. Carlos paced, jaw clenched. Part of him wanted to deny it all, to call the vet a fool, to burn the report, to pretend everything was fine. But then he looked at Luna. She lay beside her litter, licking each one with the same fierce tenderness, her eyes saying what words never could. They are mine. And I am theirs. That night, the children cried themselves to sleep. The parents stayed up, whispering fears about safety, about judgment, about what the town would do if they found out. But every time doubt crept in, they saw Luna, unwavering, loyal, loving without condition. And slowly, something shifted inside them too. In the weeks that followed, the Martinez home became a fortress of quiet courage. The world outside buzzed with gossip. Letters arrived, strangers stared, old friends grew distant. But inside, love held its ground. Mateo stopped calling them puppies and started calling them by the names he'd given them. Ember, Rook, Sable. Sophia would sit beside Luna for hours, watching the strange little creatures sleep, their chests rising and falling with dreams no one could understand. Elena realized something profound. Miracles don't always arrive wrapped in light. Sometimes, they come cloaked in mystery, testing not just your faith, but your heart. And Carlos? He learned that loyalty isn't about knowing what something is. It's about choosing to stand by it anyway. Luna never wavered. And because of her, neither did they. The real miracle wasn't the birth of 15. It was the choice to love what the world feared. Luna didn't care about species or secrets or slitted eyes. She saw only her children. And in doing so, she taught a family that family isn't defined by blood or breed or even biology. It's defined by who stays when everything else walks away. And in a world quick to judge the unfamiliar, that kind of love, that's the rarest miracle of all.